Some more recent statistics say that Americans spend about $800 as a household on groceries each month and end up actually wasting about $2,000 each year on food. The average amount of cost to eat out instead of cooking at home is 300 to 400% more. I want to help you learn how to save money like a pro when it comes to food, groceries, cooking, and also eating out. Feeling less stressed when it comes to groceries and food cost is what I want to help you achieve. Now we know that costs are up, but there are still some things that are within your control that can help keep the overall totals down. That is why in this video, I am going to share 45 tips with you. Now, not all of these might work for you in your stage of life. What I recommend is getting a pencil and a piece of paper and noting which ones will apply to you. That way you can look at them later. The ones that don't, just leave those behind for someone else. If you enjoy my channel, a great way to help support my channel is to click on that like button. Also hit the subscribe button down below. And also add your comment down below talking about how you like to save money on food. Number 1 is to use Pinterest to find more recipes using the ingredients you like to eat and cook with. The more variety you can actually come up with from simple ingredients that you enjoy, the better you can maintain a meal rotation and not get bored. Number 2, before going to a restaurant, look at the menu, look at the ratings, look at the reviews before you head to that new restaurant you haven't been to before. You don't want to waste time and money on food that others have already experienced as not good. Number 3 is to prioritize protein. This has been a big game changer for me when I realized that protein actually fills you up. It doesn't make you want to snack as much. The more you snack, the more you want to snack. You've probably experienced that before. But protein makes you feel satiated. So if you prioritize eating that in your meal, it's going to help you eat less. Number 4 is to have a food clean out week. You can do this once a month. You can do this every 2 months. It's going to depend on how much you can collect over that time. You may go through a good amount of what you buy. But have a week where you don't go to the grocery store unless you need something like milk or bread and just go in and get those things. But where you only eat from the fridge, from the freezer, from the pantry, and you get super creative. Put the money that you would have spent on groceries towards your debt, in savings, or towards building a stockpile later on. Number 5 is to sort and wash your fruit when you get home to remove any spoiled pieces. You may have seen where you've got like those small tomatoes and one tomato's been squished, or strawberry and it's been squished. And what happens is it starts to spoil the bunch. So that if you can go ahead and remove those quickly, it's going to help save the rest of the food. Number 6, if there's a food item, something that you really love, but the price is a bit too high, wait until it is on a great sale at a deep discount to stock up. Only give yourself permission to buy it when it is on that deep discount. Number 7, you may have heard tips only grocery shop once a week or maybe even once a month. Well, sometimes shopping more often is helpful. And you might think, what? What are you saying? Just hear me out on this. It really depends on your personality and your proximity to the grocery store. If you often get more than what is on your list and or the store is not close, this is not a helpful tip. But if you are disciplined in your list and the store is close by, shopping more often can actually cut down on food waste because there are some things that even if you buy them in the store today, 3 days from now, they may look good when you buy them. They might have already gone bad for various reasons. So this could help you if you are disciplined and have grocery stores close by. Number 8, do not forget about frozen fruits and vegetables. Often they are a better deal than fresh versions, and they certainly have less preservatives and taste better than canned versions. Most of them taste almost as good as fresh after they've been cooked. Number 9 is to serve simpler meals. Dinner doesn't have to look like a main dish and 2 sides like you get at a restaurant. You can have a sandwich and a side of fruit, pancakes and eggs, soup and salad. It's going to be a lot less expensive and still as good. Number 10 is to shop at more than one store if you have them in close proximity to each other. This is what we do, and it actually saves us money and doesn't take that much more time. One store is a great deal for shelf-stable items. It's considerably less than the store across the street, but their selections of fruits and vegetables are never good. They always go bad quickly. It does not help me to go buy something that might be a little bit less expensive if it's not going to last. So I do not get them from there. I hop across the street and get all the items that aren't as good at the other store at the second store. Number 11 is to use a calculator as you go through the store. This is to help you keep within your budget. As you go through, keep a calculator handy, add up the item. You might also round to the nearest 50 cent. So if something's $2.49, just say $2.50. If it's $2.76, say it's $3. If it's $2.10, just say it's $2. It just makes it easier, and it pretty much is going to balance out, and you're going to know almost the total that you have once you get to the end. This really helps you to stay on budget. Number 12 is one way that I use to plan for my week. So I will use the what's in my fridge and what's in my pantry first. From there, you look at what's on sale in the circular at your store, and you put your combinations together from that. You know what you already have, you know what's on sale, and you decide from there what you're going to make. Number 13 is to buy in bulk only if there is a per unit cost savings and you are sure that you're going to use that item before it gets to its expiration date. Number 14 is to keep a grocery price book. This is a book where you're going to have the items that you typically buy and you know how much they cost at the store that you go to. That way you can take the book with you, and if you see something is on sale, you can verify what the cost of it is normally and see if they're just advertising with this big yellow sticker that there's a big sale or if it actually is a good deal. Number 15 is to prep your meals in bulk so that you can cut down on the temptation of eating out at another time. And it only takes then a few minutes to reheat. So I always on Sunday, this is my meal prepping time when I make regular dinner plus my couple of extra leftovers, and I also make just extra meals for the rest of the week that I can easily heat up. So you don't have to worry about that temptation of stopping to get something to go. Number 16, a good way to buy in bulk is to split it with friends, family, or neighbors. You know, sometimes if you go and buy spaghetti jars or ketchup, they come in those sets of 2 or 3 big, huge things. Well, if you know you're not necessarily going to use it before the expiration date, you don't need that much of it, it might be a nice, beneficial exchange to just split it with close friends and families. Hey, I'm going to go pick up some ketchup. Do you need a bottle? Great. Number 17, leftovers have never been better when you use an air fryer to reheat them. It can revive anything from restaurant food to last night's dinner. It leaves the food a lot less soggy than if you put it in the microwave. Number 18 is to give your leftovers their own shelf, their own space, their own little spot in your fridge. And then what you're going to do is put a label on them. Maybe you use a piece of tape or half of a sticky note. And you're going to write what they are and the date that you made them. Have them in one spot. That way they don't get pushed, to the back of the fridge and you're like, I had to eat out for lunch this week because I didn't think we had anything, but I had some leftovers right back there. Just didn't see it. Number 19, make sure if you do see something that is on deep discount that you use often, stock up on it. Pantry, freezer. If you use it often, you can probably not have too many of them. Number 20, don't put your fruits and vegetables in the same area, especially those drawers. Some fruits give off what's called ethylene gas, which actually makes vegetables ripen quicker. So have them separate so you don't have things ripening before they need to be. Number 21, you're going to put your fruits in a low humidity drawer. You're going to put your vegetables in a high humidity drawer. Number 22 is to consider using store pickup. This is a way a lot of people in my comments have told me they are actually doing it and saving a lot of money. It's also quicker and easier. They can just drive up, get their groceries, and they save time, which time is money. But it really cuts back on buying things that aren't on your list, things that are not necessary because you're not there. You can easily put everything that you need. Oftentimes these apps will actually save the items that you use on a regular basis, and it actually makes the whole process a lot quicker. So if you haven't tried it, maybe look into it and see if it helps you save money. Number 23, if you have a job where you have to leave the house, well, then the night before, pack everything up for the next day. Don't wait till the morning. Pack your leftovers for your lunch. Have it maybe sitting in the fridge waiting for you to pick it up and put it in the cooler. Have your breakfast items. Have snacks as well. Everything needs to be ready the night before so you can easily grab it that next morning. Number 24 is a way to save a little bit of money if you do want to go out to a restaurant. Maybe choose to go out for brunch or lunch instead of dinner. There might be lower prices. You can also share an entree or just get 3 or appetizers and share them between you. That way you get a variety of food. It's oftentimes going to be less expensive than getting 2 separate entrees and big meals. Number 25 is one that bit me in the butt a few times before I made it a habit of checking expiration dates before I put something in my cart. I can't rely on the people at the grocery store to remove all of the items that are past their expiration date or are super close to expiring. Number 26 is to always sign up for the loyalty customer card at your grocery store. Utilize the app. Oftentimes, these apps now have a feature where they've got coupons, so you can go and see what coupons there are, and you can load them onto your card number, which is linked to your account, and that way you don't actually have to have physical coupons, and I believe a lot of coupons are going to this. So you go onto your app with your loyalty card number, you see what coupons apply for the things that you're going to buy, and put them onto your card. Just make sure at checkout that they are uploaded onto the screen, that they do apply to the thing that you're buying. Number 27 is for those who might not want to do the price book, but might just want to make a game out of knowing the price of something that they usually buy. I did this. It's good to just know the general price of items you buy on a regular basis. One time I made a game out of the cost of milk at 5 different stores. I knew the exact down to the cent cost of milk at each of these stores, and a lot of them were even close to each other and were the same store, just a couple of miles apart. You usually have certain things that you buy on repeat. Just start to say, what is the typical price of this? Note it in your head, and when something either jumps up in cost or is at a deep discount, you are going to be able to quickly see what is going on. Number 28, if you have issues sticking to a list, then maybe just allow yourself one thing. You stick to your list, but you have on the bottom of your list, let's say you have 24 items, you put number 25 blank. You allow yourself one thing that's not on the list. You're not going crazy. There's not multiple things that are going to make you over budget, but you've still kind of scratched that itch of that extra thing that you wanted. Number 29 is to always look up and down at the shelves when you're going through the store. Oftentimes the things that are at eye level are the highest profit for the store. So look up and down and you actually might find a better deal. Number 30 is to say no to pre-grated cheese. Obviously, if you've got arthritic hands or issues grating cheese, do what you need to do. Buy the pre-grated cheese. Do what was easier for you. But if you can grate your own cheese, buy it in the block. Because what they do with pre-grated cheese is they cover it in what's called cellulose. I think that's what it is. And what it does is keep the moisture out, so it prevents the cheese from clumping in the bag. You're going to save more because the cost of shredded cheese versus block cheese is different. It costs more to buy the thing that's already pre-shredded for you. Number 31 is to pay attention at the checkout. Watch what's happening. It is often, you hear all these beeps at the checkout, right? There's registers right next to each other. You can't know that they didn't realize they were scanning something twice, or it came up at some outrageous cost because the barcode is doing something silly. So while you're there, pay attention. Zone in on that checkout screen to make sure everything's coming through correctly. Number 32 is to make your list and check it twice. Check to make sure, is there anything that you've written on this list that we already have? Just make sure, go verify. Also make sure everything that's on that list matches what you need. Do you look through your recipes? Is there anything that I'm missing that I haven't put on this list? You're going to save time and money and not buying duplicates or missing something if you check your list twice. Number 33 is to have a family favorites meal list. This is my favorite thing because it's just so easy. It's if you meal plan or not, just having a list of things that you know you cook, you know you usually have the items on hand to make. It just takes stress away from your brain and makes it so much easier. You can also use this list to make sure you do have the items on hand that can make these meals. So if you don't want to meal plan ahead, it's a great way to have what you already need to make the meals that are your favorites. Number 34 is for at home or restaurants. Opt for water. Buying coffee out, tea out, soda, certainly alcoholic drinks, that's a huge cost, especially when eating out, not to mention the benefits of drinking water instead of those other items. Number 35 might be a little silly, but I bet some of you have done it or will do it, is when you're going out to a restaurant, maybe you just order from the kids menu. They're smaller portions, they're usually less expensive. Now, they might have guidelines that say you have to be 12 or under. You could just say, I'm feeling really youthful. Number 36 is another one for eating out. When you get your meal, so you've ordered a regular meal, ask for a box immediately. Go ahead and move half of it or part of it to that box to take to go for later, to put in your air fryer, to make taste good for the next day. But what this does is, again, the portions at restaurants are ridiculous. So rather than getting a little sauce on something and it gets soggy, go ahead and move it off into that box. You've got the portion that you're going to eat there. It's going to help you make 2 meals at least out of 1. Number 37 is to pick up a food sealer. Now, many people have asked about my food sealer. I got it at Costco. You can get these things pretty much anywhere. Just read the reviews. They're all pretty similar, but it's going to help you individually portion meals, meats, serving portions, keep things fresher longer, especially in the freezer, which is going to save you money. Number 38, even if you do not do grocery pickup, the app for grocery pickup can be very helpful. So you can open up the app and you can put everything that you would normally buy in the cart. The cool thing about that is you can click on the cart and see what the total is. You already know what you're going to get and what it is and if it's within budget. And hey, if you've got an extra $20, let me go back and see what's on sale that I can stock up on. Using this just as a handy calculator when you're at home is a great thing to do. Number 39, if you're a family of, 2, 3, 4 or more, I would say make an additional 2 meals every time you cook. What does that mean? So if you've got 4 people in your family and you usually cook enough for 4 people, cooking for 6 people. This is great because you can now take those 2 additional meals, box them up, put them in the fridge in their little spot with their little labels on them, and you've got lunches for the next week, dinner for someone who got in a little bit late. It's a great way to actually meal prep ahead a bit, have different versions. So if you do this 3 nights a week, then you've got 6 different meals and they're 6 different portions, 3 different meals that you can swap in and out from the various days and you're not going to get bored. It's just a great way to have leftovers, which will save you money. Number 40, when you've gone to the grocery store and you're sitting in the parking lot, get in your car, it's cold outside, start getting cozy, pull out the receipt. You may have missed something, you may have gotten distracted when you were checking out, the person checking you out may have been a little chatty and you didn't see that they rang up your milk twice or that this thing rang up 30% more than it actually should cost. Before you leave the parking lot, because you're less likely to come back and worry about it, check it. You might can run in real quick to the customer service area and get it handled if there's a mistake. Number 41 is to shop alone. You get more distracted. You get little things tossed into the cart that you didn't even know about. You get little pouty faces. Things like that will happen when you're shopping with others. So if you want to help streamline the system, stick to the list, stay within budget, shop alone if you can. Number 42 is to have that budget. We've talked along the entire video so far and stick to it. If you've got a budget set, it's important that you stick to it. I've given you several tips ahead of this, such as the calculator, such as the app for your groceries pickup, to be able to calculate what you're planning to get to make sure you are within your budget. Number 43 is to stick to the outside of the store. The stuff in the middle, don't waste your money on snacks and treats. They are not filling, they are not nutritious, they're not good for you, and they make you want to eat more, which costs more money. Number 44, if you have extra time and you are, again, that detailed person, you might actually make an inventory of what's in your pantry and in your freezer. So if you're doing that clean out week, you don't have to dig through everything. You can have a list right there. If you cook the same similar things all the time, you can easily mark it off when you're out of something. So that when you go to the store the next week, you can look at your inventory list and see what you need to stock up on. And number 45 is my tried and true, the one thing that I did that absolutely saved at least 30 to 40% on my grocery costs. I'm not kidding. And I've been doing it now for years, and that's removing mealtime stress by planning. So I'm a busy working mom. My husband's busy working as well. Meal planning is just great for us in our stage of life. We do it weekly now. We used to do it monthly, but now weekly works better for what's going on with the grocery stores and the cost. The best part about it is you always get what you need at the grocery store because you know what you're going to make. If one person gets home before the other, they know what's on the menu. They can go ahead and start the meal. There's no stress about wondering what's for dinner or asking and you don't get any answers. Meal planning is super beneficial. Don't forget to add your tip below. I want to hear from you. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, click on that like button, hit the subscribe button so you can come back for more videos, and I hope you have a wonderful week ahead.